Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with another video on Nikke Goddess of Victory. Now, my last video was talking about Rosanna and why she is a easy skip, and when I made that video we didn't actually know her skills, but now that we know her skills, I have actually read it and I think she's actually pretty mid. Like in PvE, definitely don't want to use her. Well, I might be wrong, obviously we have to actually test this character out, but even in PvP as well, even though her main focus is in PvP, I don't even think she's going to be that good. Honestly, I feel like her skills are not too OP, but we never know what happens when they actually put the character in game. She might actually end up being good, but so far from what I can see with her skills, I don't think she's good, and it's an easy skip. So let's talk about it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to for more content on Nikke Goddess of Victory. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button, and if you guys want to stay tuned for more future content on Nikke Goddess of Victory, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure that post notification is on, and let's get right into it. Okay, so it looks like I was correct about her being a burst 1 Tetra unit. It just makes sense. We already got a burst 2 and burst 3 Tetra unit. They might as well release a burst 1 Tetra unit. And I don't really know why the devs love Tetra units so much. They keep giving us a lot of Tetra units. Now, for you guys who don't know, I will be making a quick video going over the best characters for each manufacturer. So Elysian, Tetra, Pilgrim, and the other ones, so stay tuned for that video. But yeah, Tetra has so many characters, and so let's take a look at her skills. So the first skill, she is an attacker by the way, which makes no sense because her skills are more supportive, and she's a burst 1. Typically burst 1s are not the attacker. Well, Dorothy is a different kind of supporter. But anyways, going over to the first skill, activates after landing 120 normal attack and affects self. Now she is a machine gun unit, so the speed of the ammo should be quite fast, so to get that 120 normal attack shouldn't take too long. But in PvP, you're really gonna be making, well, you really want this to proc as fast as possible. But anyways, the concealment basically prevents self from being the target of single target attack for 10 seconds, loses effect after the caster takes damage. So I believe this is something you can keep going over and over again, using over and over again after using 120 normal attacks. You get this concealment. Even if they attack you, you lose it, but you can activate this again if you do 120 normal attack. Not bad, actually, not bad. It increases the crit rate by 19.34% for 3 seconds. Crit rate isn't the greatest thing you want. If it was an attack or like defense or something, that would be quite good. The next part of that skill, or passive, sorry, is activates after landing 10 normal attack, easy. It affects 2 enemy units with the highest attack, dispels 5 buff, activates 1 time per battle. Now, this could have been potentially very good for PvP, but it's only limited to 1 time. Now, don't get me wrong, to dispel 5 buffs, amazing. But for characters that can just proc the buffs again straight, obviously buffs are going to be hard to keep getting over and over again, so the fact that she can dispel buff is very good. However, I feel like she's not going to provide you any defensive role. The dispelling buff is good, characters deal extra damage with the buffs, but I don't think this is going to be as OP because it's only 1 time per battle. Once it dispels the buff for 10 normal attacks, yeah, that's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone as fast as possible. It doesn't say how long the dispelling works though, so maybe just dispels 5 buffs and that's it, done. Oh wait, she can dispel 5 buffs, so the opponent has 1 buff activated, she removes that, but then the maximum 5 buffs, or is it like dispel 5 buff at the same time? I'm not really too sure. Anyways, going over to the second skill, activates when entering battle, affects self concealment. Oh, okay, good, because the first one over here, first skill, was not really too good with the concealment, sorry. But when she enters the battle, concealment basically prevents self from being a target for single attack for 5 seconds. So essentially, this character will not be getting damaged in the PvP round. You basically want her to survive to the end, even if your opponent or your character dying, because if you take a look at burst skill, which she does extra damage as well. Not burst skill, for skill 2 she gains buffs based on the amount of people that die in your team, which is gonna be nice, but I don't think she's gonna be a safe unit to have, because essentially everyone has to die, and then you're putting your hopes on this one particular character. Unless her attack stats is very good, I'm not really too sure how broken this character will be. Anyways, loses effect when target or caster takes damage. Okay. Effects activates when a Nikke is out of action. Like I said, frenzy attack. Oh, this is actually good. Actually, effect attack is increased by 22.61%. Insane. Actually, stacks up to 10 times. Lasts for 30 seconds. Fills Burge gauge by 36.54%. Essentially, what this will make her do is increase her attack, does her burst a lot faster, or activates the burst a lot more faster. But the fact that your characters need to die to activate this means you can't really get a full burst in. You can only do her burst 1 and maybe burst 2. That burst 2 character isn't dead already. I feel like this character, actually, I said mid at the start, but I feel like she's actually gonna be okay, which is the same thing as mid. Actually, I don't think she's gonna be broken, but she has the potential to be broken because that attack stat is very high, that increased attack stat. And if like 3 opponents or 3 characters of your team dies, you buff that by 22.6 times by 3. That is insane. Buff for attack, she might actually have the opportunity to completely wipe the team in PvP. However, still an easy skip for free-to-play players. Like I said, PvP oriented characters you don't really want to summon for if you're free to play, because PvP is just a whale territory. If you're free to play, you don't really have a chance to, you know, compete in with whales. So yeah, there's no point in trying to get PvP character that will help, well, try to help you guys, but won't actually help. Anyways, let's carry on reading. So with a burst skill called Vendetta, it's a 40-second cooldown. She is a burst one. Yeah, okay, PvE, you don't want to use her. I don't think PvE is where you want to use her. 40 seconds are way too long. You don't really want to run 2 burst 1 characters as well. Yeah, I don't recommend this character for PvE. But with her burst skill, activates 2 attacker enemy units, deals damage 1000. Okay, that's actually very high in terms of percentage. Affects the same target when in concealment status, deal additional damage of 561. Okay, she might be broken in PvP. I want to change my mind in this because that percentage stat is high, and the fact that she can also buff up her attack if your character dies high. But the only issue is the concealment only stops you from getting attacked by single target characters. Now in PvP with characters like Scarlet, which can just like can instant shred people, they were making a way across, well, Scarlet will be making a way across your entire characters. Eventually she will meet up with Rosanna. Rosanna does not have any defensive skills to protect herself except the concealment, but if she's the only opponent left, shouldn't she be attacked? Even if, actually wait, does that make sense? Actually, if she has the concealment and she's the only character in the field, and the concealment basically stops her from getting targeted from single target attack for 10 seconds, will Scarlet just attack the dead characters, or will she just, you know, since Rosanna is the only character available, should she just ignore the concealment and attack her? That is something we need to actually test. If the concealment even works, even if she's the only opponent in the field and in PvP, then yeah, she's going to be actually very strong. But if that concealment is basically not in effect because she's the only character in here, your enemy has to attack a specific Nikke, and if she's the only one there and they have to attack her, that concealment is basically useless. And if Scarlet is your opponent, Scarlet could just, you know, burst through her or kill her straight. So it's something we need to test. But I think she actually might be broken, actually, for PvP. Not broken, she might actually have a place in PvP, just because the burst has high what's it called, high percentage. However, the burst skill is actually 40-second cooldown, so even if you're able to fill your burst gauge by that 36%, you won't be able to burst because you still have to wait for that cooldown. So actually, it might not be as broken as it sounds, or as good as it sounds. I feel like her skills sounds good, but we need to see it in practice. I feel like right now I'm gonna say she is potentially good for PvP, but it's still an easy skip character. If it turns out the concealment does not work when you're the only opponent there, when Rosanna is the only opponent you have in field, even though she has that huge buff with her attack, because you can put 5 characters in your team. So let's say 4 of them dies, 22.61% times 4 gives you a huge percentage increase for your attack, and your burst gauge is also filled as well. Have the ability to dispel can have concealment pretty good. We need to test this out though, but could be potentially good for PvP. But at the same time, if an opponent uses the burst skill, which is typically AoE, and with Scarlet Burst, or with what's the name, with Haran Burst as well as AoE, or with Privity as well, with the stun as well, I feel like this character might not be as broken or as good as she sounds. So I still think she could be a potentially good, strong character, but there's still a chance of her being not that great in PvP, because characters with the AoE burst could definitely hurt her. Yeah, especially with the meta with running like indomitability, which basically stops you from dying. You can basically just absorb or try and taunt all the damage to a specific character, whilst your other damage dealers just does damage to her. So I feel like she isn't broken, but she can be very, very good. We just need to test her out. So tell me down in the comment section if you guys are still going to stand for her. I feel like everyone should, well, most free-to-play players will be skipping on her, because we already have 2 Tetra units right now that many people are trying to get because they changed PvE. Literally, Blanc and Noir, they change PvE, makes it very, very easy if you use them both together. So I feel like if you want to prioritize one specific Tetra character, go for Blanc and Noir together. Don't just aim for one of them, and just forget about Rosanna for now. You can add her into this wish list and you will be good. So that's all I wanted to talk about in today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's been your boy AC Gamer, and I'm out.